Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to PPA theory sessions. We are continuing our fifth unit, which is functions. And we have seen a number of different types of functions, and we have seen how we can declare a function, call a function, define a function. If you want to pass some values from one function to another function, then we have seen how we can pass those parameters, or it is also called arguments. And when we pass those parameters, in last lecture, we were discussing this thing, pass by value and pass by pointer. So if you pass your values, then it is going to generate a copy. And within a function, if you do anything, if you update anything, then that will be local. It is not going to affect your original data. Pass by pointer, it is something where you pass the reference of your original data. So you will be working with original data and it is going to affect your original data also. So this is passed by value. When we call a function, we simply pass variables or the values. That's the pass by value. And if you want to pass your parameters with references, then you are going to pass the address of that variable. And ampersand sign is the address operator. So ampersand A is going to give you the address of your variable A. Okay. So ampersand A, ampersand B, ampersand C, we are actually sending address of A, address of B, address of C in that function. So when we pass address, it is a pointer, it is the reference. And when we want to work with references, we need to use pointers. So we are going to see pointers in detail in unit number 7 later on. But as we are talking about pass by values, so we have also seen few examples of pass by value. So you can pass your parameters A, B, that's the actual parameter. You receive those values in different variables, let's say X, Y, then those X and Y are the formal parameters. And we have seen the difference between pass by value and pass by pointers. Pass by value is going to generate a copy, whereas pass by pointer is going to refer the same data always, right? So that we have seen. And then we had gone for a few more examples of passing parameters. When we pass an array to the function, then it looks like pass by value, but it is actually pass by reference. Okay. So passing array to a function, it looks like pass by value, but it is not. It is actually pass by array, pass by reference. And we have seen that in practical writing code also. So we have seen one code where we call a function, we receive those elements of array, and when we go back, we have the same elements available, right? So this is what example we have seen, and after this we had the program. So this was last program we have seen. So even get array, when we call that function and we pass the array, it is actually passed by reference. And that's the reason if I take values in X, okay, if I get value in X, which is the parameter, I can still have the same values inside A and B, which I can print in void main or int main, right? And you can even pass as many number of arrays as you want. Vishnu is asking how to pass 2D array. Well, it's very much simple. Even 2D array, if you want to pass, when you pass it, simply use variable name A. But when you receive it, here you will require another square bracket. That's it. So this square bracket indicates the dimension. एक बार लिखा है तो 1 dimension, अगर 2 बार लिखा है then it's gonna be 2-dimensional array. Okay. So that's it. That's how you can pass 2D array, 1D array or multi-dimensional array. It's okay. Right now, Nirmal is asking, can we return 2 or more values from function? Well, with return statement, it is not possible. Return statement can return only one value, and that's the reason pass by reference comes, pass by pointer comes here. If you want to return multiple values, then you have to pass those parameters as a pointer. And as you can see right now, we cannot return entire array. Function में मैंने एक array लिया, तो मैं पूरा array return नहीं कर पाऊंगा. So the alternate way is, उस array को जो मुझे चाहिए, I'm going to pass that array as a reference. So inside that array, I can store any value here. When I come back, मुझे वो values मिल जाएगी. And this will be more clear when we look at unit number 7, pointers. Okay. So these were the practicals and all those things we have seen. Last, we were talking about nesting of functions. So we can call a function from anywhere as many times whenever we want. The only constraint here is when we call a function, we must declare a function before we call it, or we must define a function before we call it. जहां से आप कॉल करते हो उससे पहले वो डिक्लेयर हो जाना चाहिए या तो फिर वो डिफाइन हो जाना चाहिए. Now, as you can see in this example, both these functions are declared earlier, right, at this place. Both the functions are declared already. So within your entire program, आपको जब भी चाहिए आप वो function call कर पाओगे. So add function हमने call किया from main. Add के अंदर से add one call किया. And from add one, we return back. Now we discuss this thing. When you return, जब आपका function खत्म हो जाता है और आप return होते हो, तो आप return कहाँ पे होगे? जहां से वो function call हुआ, वहां पे return जाओगे आप. Okay? So we add one से आप return हो के कहाँ पे आओगे? You will come to this line in add function. अब add खत्म होने के बाद आप return होके कहाँ पे जाओगे? You will be going back to main के अंदर जहां से add call हुआ. Okay? Well, Hussein is saying my screen is not visible. How about other students? Because as of now, I can see I'm sharing my screen entirely. Just to one or two students, please confirm. Can you see my screen? Can you see this code? Yeah, it's visible. So Hussein, you need to fix it at your end. Yeah, thank you all. So we're discussing this nesting of functions. And we also discussed that main से हमने add call किया. Okay. So how this will be execution will be going on. So we call add function, main से add call किया, add से add one call किया. Now when we are done from add one से आप add में वापस आओगे और add जब खत्म हो जाएगा तो आप main में वापस जाओगे. Now that will be the flow of function calls. अब अगर हम in detail देखना चाहते हैं कि how it is being done. So initially when we execute our code, main will be executed, right? Now from this main, within the main, we have this statement d equals to add, right? Look at here inside the code. D equals to add ABC. Now, what is the value of ABC? It is 543. So actually it is going to call this 5, 4, and 3 here. So when we call this add function, go inside. So have a look at this one. Inside your add function, you have another statement, W equals to something. So inside that you have W equals to add 1. Right? You call this add 1 here. Now inside that add 1, what you'll do is x plus y. So the x value of x and y will be what? It will be 5 and 4. So x plus y will be 5 plus 4, and that's going to be 9. And the second parameter is z, which is as it is. So this is going to be 3. That's how you are going to call that function. So again, we have called this function. Let's go inside add 1. So if we look at this add 1 here, 2 parameters that we pass, we have that those parameters p and q. Now what we return p plus q. So from this add 1, we are going to return p plus q, which is 9 plus 3, 12, right? So when we return this 12, it is going to be returned जहां से उसको कॉल किया वहां पे रिटर्न होगा. So this is going to be 12, right? So वो 12 कहां पे असाइन होगा? W में. So we are back to our add function. Now add function के अंदर देखो हमने क्या किया. Well, this is something mistake. This should be W here. Okay, return W should be there. So what we do is we return W from our add function. So let me go back here, and what we will do at this place is you are going to return W. Now what is W? It is actually 12. What is W? It is 12. Now this W return 12, अब वो return होके कहाँ पे जाएगा? जहाँ से आपने उसको call किया. So that 12 will come here, and it is going to be assigned inside D. Fine. Now we are in main. अब main के अंदर हमने क्या किया? Print D. So at this place, we are going to print D. Now what is the value of D? Value of D is 12. So you are going to print 12 as a final answer. Now this is the entire trace. Look here. And this is how those functions are being called. अब जब आप function call करते हो, then it is something like you are going in depth. आप depth में चलते जाते हो, अंदर 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 जा रहे हो. Now जितने अंदर जाओगे उतना वापस बाहर आना पड़ेगा. तो मेन से ऐड के अंदर गया, ऐड से ऐड 1 के अंदर गया, तो ऐड 1 से मैं बाहर आऊंगा ऐड में, और ऐड से वापस बाहर आऊंगा मेन में. So the perfectly reverse path we are going to follow when we return. Okay, so this is a trace of the function call we have seen in this slide. Any query at this point? Any query till now? Okay, yeah, thank you. Look, you have to understand this trace and this function call properly. क्योंकि जब आप ये समझ लोगे एक बार, तो इसके बेस पे रिकर्जन आपके लिए आसान हो जाएगा. The next point that we are going to learn is the recursion. Well, Yusuf is asking what we need to write, return 12 or return W. We are going to, in program, we will write return W. Like W की जो value होगी, actual में वो value return हो जाएगी. Because we will be working with variables, and the value of the variable will be handled by the program when it is being executed. Okay. जब वो execute होगा तो उसके अंदर जो भी वैल्यू होगी वो वैल्यू हैंडल हो जाएगी. लेकिन जब हम कोड लिखेंगे, देन हम कोड के अंदर तो वेरिएबल ही लिखने वाले हैं. वी डोंट नो व्हाट विल बी द वैल्यू ऑफ ABC. अगर 543 जगह पे मैं कुछ और डाल दूंगा तो वो कैलकुलेशन जो है वो कुछ अलग होगा. Will be working with variables. Yeah, okay. So let's see the next thing. The actual topic that we have our content today is the recursion. This is what I was talking about. अगर function call अच्छे से समझ लिया तो recursion आपके लिए आसान हो जाएगा. Now let us understand what is recursion and then we'll see this example also. So recursion is nothing but a function call. It's a process of function call. लेकिन इसको अलग नाम क्यों दिया? Because हम यहाँ पे कोई नया function call नहीं करेंगे. We are going to call the same function. We are going to call itself. अगर एक function खुद ही को कॉल करता है, अपने आप को कॉल करता है अपने अंदर से, then it is going to be called as recursive call. So a function calls itself repeatedly, then it is going to be called recursion or a recursive function. Now, जब आप recursion करते हो, then remember it is very important that you define some base condition. कि आप recursion करोगे, आप उस फंक्शन को repeatedly कॉल करोगे, कब तक? कभी ना कभी तो है. So when you want to break it, when you want to stop that recursion, it is called a base condition. So until some condition has been satisfied, तब तक आप उसको कॉल करते जाओगे. So when we call a function itself, when we recurse a function, the process of chaining will occur. Chaining क्यों कहा? क्योंकि वो function खुद ही को call करेगा. So the best example to understand this one is the factorial, right? Now what is factorial? If I say 5 factorial, then it is going to be something like 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. 1 तक आप जाते हो. Now that's your 5 factorial answer. Now we have seen this iteratively, how we had done this thing. So we have some fact equals to 1 initialized, and then what we do is we run a loop for I equals to 1 या 2 से कहीं से भी आप ले सकते हो, starting from 2 because 1 तो already आ गया. I less than n, you'll go for I less than equals to n, I plus plus, and in that you are going to do fact equals to fact multiply by I. Now this was the recursive solution. Sorry, not a recursive, it was the iterative solution using loop. Okay, this was the iterative solution. But this one is a recursive solution, because in this place what we do is we define a function here. So how we define a function? It should have return type, function type. तो हमें integer मिल गया. Then there is a function name. So we have fact here. Okay. Then if you require, you can pass parameters. So we have passed one parameter x. Now this is a formal parameter because यहाँ पे हम function definition लिख रहे हैं. So x is your formal parameter, and then in between these curly brackets you have the entire function body, and the function body can have any business logic that we require, right? So anything that we require, anything that we want to calculate here, we can do it. So the recursive solution is something this one. Now first of all, we require फंक्शन कॉल, वो सेम फंक्शन कॉल होना चाहिए. सो फैक्ट के अंदर से आपको फिर से फैक्ट कॉल करना होगा. ओनली देन यू कैन से इट इज अ रिकर्सिव कॉल. Now parameter can be anything we want. एक पैरामीटर होना चाहिए। अब वो वैल्यू तो मैं कुछ भी पास कर सकता हूँ। सो वी विल सी वाई एक्स माइनस वन लेटर। लेकिन फैक्ट के अंदर से फैक्ट कॉल किया तो ये रिकर्जन है। रिमेंबर, व्हेन यू डू रिकर्जन, डोंट फॉरगेट टू हैव सम कंडीशन, बेस कंडीशन। अगर बेस कंडीशन नहीं लिखोगे तो ये इनफाइनाइट कॉल हो जाएगा। अगर हम बेस कंडीशन नहीं लिखते हैं और समहाउ अगर हम कंडीशन ही नहीं लिखते हैं तो ये इनफाइनाइट कॉल हो जाएगा। So to break that infinite call, we need to have some base condition. Based on the condition, we are going to recurse. अगर ऐसा है तो फंक्शन कॉल करो, अगर ऐसा है तो फंक्शन कॉल नहीं करना है. So that kind of condition we need to write here. And we have that condition here. Now this if is a base condition. Okay. So if x is double equals to 1, then we are going to return something. हम function call नहीं करेंगे, हम यहाँ से return हो जाएंगे. And if your x is not 1, then you will go to else part, okay, and you will have a recursive call. और recursive call कहाँ पे होगा? जब आप फिर से fact को call करोगे. Fine. Now, how this is going to calculate a factorial? How it is going to be the factorial? So if you see here, the recursive statement is something like f equals to x into fact of x minus 1, right? So अगर आपके पास कुछ है, if there is something like x you already have, so this is going to be x multiplied by x minus 1. Now that's the recursive call. So again, it is going to be x minus 1 to already tha. Another minus 1 will be there. So it is actually going to be x minus 2 and so on. So it is going to be x minus 3. Now, ये कहाँ तक चलेगा? Until you have your base case. अब base case क्या है? जब x आपका 1 हो जाए, then it is the base case. We have written that thing here. Your base case is x equals to 1. जब x 1 हो जाता है तो वो रिकर्सिव कॉल नहीं होगा, which means this chain जो x से आपने स्टार्ट की, this chain has been started x में से एक सब्ट्रैक्ट करो, so x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3, x minus 4, x minus 5, कब तक जाएगा? जब तक वो 1 नहीं हो जाता तब तक. And when it is 1, you will break this chain. Okay, so going to break this chain. So this is something like, अगर आपने x equals to 5 डाला है, then this is going to be 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. और जैसे ही 1 आ गया, you stop this thing. So this is 5 factorial. So now we know that this equation f equals to x multiplied by recursive call to your fact function. But when you pass the parameter, it is going to be minus 1. Existing value minus 1 will give you that factorial calculation. So with this understanding, we know that, okay, this is going to give me the 5 factorial. But if we want to trace this thing, कि भाई fact 5 कैसे call मतलब कैसे call होगा, then let us see that thing. Now, what is our function? I'm going to write this function again at this place. So what is our function? It is fact of, let's say, integer x, and it is going to return this integer value. Fine. Now inside that we require some calculation, so we have integer f, and what we'll do is at this place you can initialize it with something, or at the end we are going to return some value. So अगर आप यहाँ पे कुछ initialize नहीं करते हो, then also it's okay. But then what we do is we go for the recursive call based on a condition. So we are going to have one condition here. If my x is 1, तो मैं recursion नहीं करूँगा. I'm simply going to return 1 here. Otherwise, else I'm going to make some calculations. F equals to the current x multiply by recursive call fact x minus 1. And then you can return f from this place, and that completes your else part. And then you complete your entire function also. Now, as you can see, this is the best example to understand our program can have multiple return statements. Let me clarify. Your program can have multiple return statements, but you can return only one value. आपके पास दो रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट है, लेकिन रिटर्न तो कोई एक ही होगा. Either you are going to return 1 or you are going to return f based on if else. जो execute होगा वो return हो जाएगा. Okay, so that was one point. Now let us try to trace this thing. We want to trace this function with fact 5. Sorry. What we want to do here is we want to call this function with 5. So at this place, what is your value of x? X is 5. So you'll go to this condition first. 5 double equals to 1. No. So you'll go to else part and you are going to execute this line. So inside this function, we are going to execute this line. F equals to x, which is 5, multiply by fact x minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4. This is what you have called. अब जैसे ही फंक्शन कॉल हुआ, आप फिर से ये फंक्शन कॉल करने जाओगे. So at this place, you are going to call this function. Now what is the value of x here? Now x is 4. 4 is not equals to 1. तो अंदर जाके आप फिर से recursive कॉल करोगे. 4 multiply by fact of x minus 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So this is one more function call. X is 3 here. 3 is not equals to 1. So you are going to have recursive call 3 multiply by fact of x minus 1, which is 2. That is another call. X equals to 2. Okay. 2 is not equals to 1. So else में जाके फिर से आप recursive call करोगे. F equals to 2 multiply by 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is one more call. Now here your x is 1. Here your x value of x is 1. So let us see what we do there. Now when x is equals to 1, we return 1. Right? What we do? We return 1. So at this place, you are going to return 1 here. Okay? So this 1 is going to return at this place. So what is your f now? Next statement at this place is return f. Okay. Now f, what is f? it is going to be 2 multiplied by 1. So that's going to be 2 multiplied by 1, which is 2. So at this place, you will return 2. Now, why return f? Let us see. Because function return होके वापस कहाँ पे आता है जहाँ से कॉल हुआ. So at this line, you have that function call. So जब आप वापस आओगे तो next statement क्या हो जाएगा? Return f. And that's why I have written here return f. So इससे ये समझ में आता है कि हर बार यहाँ पे return f रहेगा. Okay. Every time you are going to return f. But the value of f will change. Let us see why and how. So in this call, as you can see, 2 multiplied by 1. So value of f is 2. अब ये value 2 जो है आप return करोगे जहां से वो call हुआ. So that comes here. And this becomes 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6. So at this place, value of f will be 6. Now that 6 will be returned जहां से वो call हुआ, right? So that value comes here. And this calculation becomes 4 multiplied by 6, which is value of f becomes 24, right? So at this place, value of f is 24, and you are going to return this 24 back to the function जहाँ से वो call हुआ. So this is going to come at this place, 24. So this is going to be 5 multiplied by 24 gives you 120, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Right? And final value of f will become 120. And this will be returned. This 120 will be returned as a value of fact 5. Okay. Fact 5 जब आप कॉल करते हो तो रिटर्न आंसर आपको 120 मिलता है. That's because of this entire trace now. This is the recursion. एक फंक्शन के अंदर से उसी फंक्शन को हम वापस कॉल कर रहे हैं. And this is how it is going to be executed when you call those functions or recursors. So have a look at this entire trace one more time. एक बार फिर से ये समझने की try करो, because recursion is very much important. It is going to make your code shorter when you are doing some complex task. But execution of this thing, understanding of this thing is much more complex than the normal thing. Well, Sohon is asking return value f की जगह return 0 लिखें तो factorial नहीं मिलेगा. Yes, definitely नहीं मिलेगा. अगर आप return 0 लिखते हो, which means every time you are going to return 0. So it is not depending on your calculation. आप calculation कुछ भी करो, हर बार आपको अगर return 0 ही करना है तो factorial नहीं मिलेगा आपको. Okay? So make sure that you do not return 0, you return f. बेस केस जो है वहां पे हमने रिटर्न 1 लिखा है. दैट्स बिकॉज ऑफ दैट्स द बेस केस. फैक्टोरियल कैलकुलेट करने में हम कब स्टॉप कर देते हैं अपना प्रोसेस? व्हेन वी रीच अप टू 1. 5 से लेके स्टार्ट किया, 5 4 3 2 1 पे हम अटक जाते हैं. सो दैट बिकम्स आवर बेस केस, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी रिटर्न 1. In a multiplication, we want to return 1 as a unit. And now Yusuf is asking, how does it repeats? Do we use for loop in function? No, we do not use for function here. इसलिए तो मैंने ये आपको पूरा ट्रेस समझाया. When we call a function, आगे का देखो. When you call a function, main से add कॉल किया और add से add one कॉल किया. तो मेन से आप जंप करके ऐड में गए, ऐड से जंप करके आप ऐड वन में चले गए और वहां पे जो कोड लिखा था वो आपने एग्जीक्यूट किया. नाउ सेम थिंग हैपेंस इन द रिकर्जन. के अंदर वापस फैक्ट को कॉल करते हो और वहां पे आप करते हो जो भी कोड लिखा है वो कोड आप एग्जीक्यूट कर दोगे. सो हर बार सेम कोड एग्जीक्यूट होगा यहाँ पे, बट विथ अ डिफरेंट वैल्यू. बिकॉज हमने पैरामीटर अलग पास किया तो वैल्यू चेंज हो गई. कैलकुलेशन कोड सेम है, कैलकुलेशन जो आप कर रहे हो उसकी मेथड सेम है, लेकिन वैल्यू चेंज होने की वजह से आंसर्स भी बदल रहे हैं. 2, 6, 24, 120, those answers are being changed because of the parameter value. Any more queries? Well, Shubham is asking, what is preferable, function or loop? Well, that depends on the requirement, Shubham. कुछ कॉम्प्लेक्स चीजें ऐसी भी होती हैं जो आप इटरेटिवली आसानी से नहीं कर पाओगे, वो रिकर्जन से इजीली हो जाएगी. नाउ कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी कुछ चीजें ऐसी भी हैं जो रिकर्जन में बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाती हैं लेकिन इटरेटिवली आसान रहती हैं. जैसे कि आपको ये फैक्टोरियल कैलकुलेट करना, अभी के लिए आप ये बोलोगे कि सर फैक्टोरियल जो है वो लूप से आसान मतलब समझ में आता है. फोर लूप लिख दें तो फैक्टोरियल समझ में आ गया, लेकिन रिकर्जन में फैक्टोरियल समझ में नहीं आया. आप ये बोलोगे कि सर फैक्टोरियल लूप से अच्छा रहेगा, फॉरगेट अबाउट रिकर्जन. या बट देयर आर मल्टीपल अदर रिक्वायरमेंट्स. कुछ पजल्स हैं, कुछ ऐसे कोड हैं, द कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेसेस के जहां आपको ये रिपीटेडली कुछ टास्क परफॉर्म करने हैं. एट दैट टाइम इटरेशन की जगह पे रिकर्जन अच्छा रहेगा. लेट मी गिव यू फ्यू एग्जांपल्स, बट हम वो डिटेल में नहीं देखेंगे एज ऑफ नाउ. in the next semester when you go for data structures, तो ट्री एंड ग्राफ डेटा स्ट्रक्चर है. अब के लिए आप सिंपली ये समझ लो, ट्री और ग्राफ में आप डेटा स्टोर करते हो. ओके, and when you want to perform some task there, if you want to perform some task, let's say insert something or delete something, ऐसा कुछ करना है, then you have to go recursively there. इटरेशन की जगह पे रिकर्जन अच्छा रहेगा. Just a minute guys, just wait. Yeah, sorry for keep you waiting. Okay, so I was talking about ट्री एंड ग्राफ. अब ट्री और ग्राफ की जो कुछ ऑपरेशंस हैं वो रिकर्जन से आसानी से हो पाएंगे, इटरेशन वहां पे कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाएगा. दूसरा एक एग्जांपल है टावर ऑफ हैनोई. इफ समवन नोज अबाउट दिस पजल, टावर ऑफ हैनोई, अगर नहीं पता है यू कैन गूगल इट and you can try to solve it by yourself manually. That's kind of a puzzle. Now that tower of Hanoi is actually the application of stack, and a stack is a data structure. अब वो भी next semester में आप देखोगे. Now when you want to solve that tower of Hanoi puzzle, at that time also recursion will be much more simpler than going for the iterative solution. लूप की जगह पे रिकर्जन आसान पड़ेगा वहां पे. So when to use recursion and when to use iteration, that totally depends on the requirement. आप कौन टास्क परफॉर्म करना चाहते हो और वो टास्क आसान रहे with which way, recursion or iteration. So depending on that you decide it. Okay, but here factorial is easy to understand because आपको पता है कि factorial कैसे calculate होता है. तो factorial का example लेके recursion समझना आसान रहेगा यहाँ पे. That's why we have taken this example. So that was the answer for Shubham's query. Which one is better? It totally depends on the requirement. Next point, Nirmal is asking, does recursion makes code to run slower than loop? Yes, it is a bit. थोड़ा slow हो जाएगा आपका code. You will be much more clear about this thing when you go for further semesters. अभी के लिए सिर्फ आपको ये बताऊं तो इटरेशन जो है वो कोई फंक्शन कॉल नहीं है. उसका मतलब ये हुआ कि इटरेशन जो है वो वहीं का वहीं आसानी से एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा. लेकिन जो फंक्शन कॉल है दैट इज जहां पे आपको एग्जीक्यूशन जो आपका चल रहा है उसको बीच में से रोक के एग्जीक्यूशन जंप करेगा कोई दूसरी जगह पे. मेन का एग्जीक्यूशन चल रहा था और जैसे ही आपने फंक्शन कॉल किया तो मेन को वो साइड में रख के आपके फंक्शन में चला जाएगा. सो एग्जीक्यूशन विल जंप टू द फंक्शन. अब वो फंक्शन से आपने दूसरा फंक्शन कॉल किया तो उसको भी वो साइड में रख के जंप कर देगा तीसरे फंक्शन पे. सो व्हेन वी कॉल अ फंक्शन एग्जीक्यूशन जंप होगा. When we jump our execution to another place, another code, then we have to remember our previous function data. main से factorial में अगर मैं आता हूं तो main का data कहीं ना कहीं तो मुझे store करके रखना होगा. क्यों रखना है? क्योंकि जब मैं वापस आता हूं तो मुझे वो पुराना data फिर से चाहिए. Right? So when we come back from the function, we will require our older data back. And that's why we have to remember that thing somewhere. So it is something like when you call a function, तो पुराने फंक्शन का डेटा कहीं ना कहीं मेमोरी में स्टोर होगा एंड देन नया फंक्शन कॉल हो जाएगा. सो दैट जब आप नया फंक्शन खत्म करके वापस आते हो तो पुराना डेटा आपको मेमोरी से वापस मिल जाए. सो टू डू दिस प्रोसेस, फंक्शन कॉल करते वक्त ये पुराना डेटा स्टोर करो, जब वापस आते हो तो रिस्टोर करो. टू डू दिस प्रोसेस इट विल टेक सम टाइम and that's why we say that recursion or function call is somewhat slower compared to iterative solution. Fine. Any more queries now? So this is what the recursion we have seen. Few points here, advantages and disadvantages, and now the entire process of recursion we have seen here. We can say it avoids unnecessary calling of functions. Advantages, अब ये कैसे हम मान सकते हैं? It avoids unnecessary calling of functions. मतलब आप 5, 6 या 10 फंक्शन बनाने के बजाय एक ही प्रोसेस करना है तो एक ही फंक्शन के अंदर से उसको बार बार कॉल करते जाओ. अब इटरेटिव प्रॉब्लम्स जो थे उसको इजीली सॉल्व करेगा. जस्ट आई सेड टावर ऑफ हैनोई वाज द एग्जांपल. TOH, टावर ऑफ हैनोई. अगर इटरेटिवली आप करने जाओगे तो वो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाएगा. उससे तो अच्छा ये रिकर्सिव प्रोसेस है. Complex programs can easily be written using recursion. and the total length and time of the program will be decreased because no need to write multiple functions here. So total length of your program will be shorter one. और वो लिखने का time भी आपका कम हो जाएगा. Whereas there are disadvantages. It is if there are too many recursions, then it is going to create confusion. It's not easy to understand. It is also difficult to debug. जब कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ गया आपके कोड के अंदर तो वो कोड आप डिबग मतलब कहीं प्रॉब्लम है तो वो प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पे है वो फाइंड करना इज कॉल्ड डिबग. So debugging process is difficult in recursion. And as I told you, base condition is compulsory. अगर आप वो नहीं लिखते हो, then recursion stop नहीं होगा. और अगर stop नहीं किया तो वो infinite हो जाएगा. कहीं पे आपका program रुकेगा ही नहीं. So that's what the recursion is. Now the next unit number 6 is totally based on examples of recursions. So in unit number 6, we are going to understand more recursive processes. And we are going to see applications of recursion in next unit. Now, Nirmal is asking, can base condition always should be in if-else statement? Look, anywhere if you want to have a condition, तो condition के लिए हमारे पास if-else ही है, right? अगर हमें कुछ condition check करना है तो if-else के अलावा हमारे पास और कुछ नहीं है. Yeah, you might have switch case, लेकिन जब आप recursion करते हो, same function को call करते हो, so if else is better, but depending on switch cases, if you want to vary your parameters, तो switch case भी आ सकता है. और switch case के अंदर एक case ऐसा बना दो जो आपका base case हो जाए. Fine? It can be default case also. Switch case के अंदर default भी आपका base case हो सकता है. Yeah, so these are few points related to recursion. Next thing is macros and pre-processing. Now we have already seen macros, but आपको ये पता नहीं था कि उसको macro बोलते हैं. We have seen this statement, hash define something. We were calling it symbolic constants, right? Symbolic constant. Symbolic क्यों बोला? क्योंकि एक constant value जो है उसको हमने symbol apply किया. 3.14 को हमने pi symbol दे दिया. When you define this kind of things, then it is actually a macro, and all the macros will be pre-processed. इससे पहले कि आपका कोड कंपाइल हो, कंपाइलेशन प्रोसेस से पहले मैक्रो जो है वो रिजॉल्व हो जाते हैं और उसको रिजॉल्व करने का काम प्री प्रोसेसर का है. So let us see what is macro. Macro is nothing but a piece of text, a text which is expanded by the preprocessor part before it compiles the entire code. So before compiling, if you want to expand your something text, then you can use macro. It is nothing but identifier in a C program, and it is going to represent a statement. Now that statement or expression can be anything. That statement or expression can be constant value or can be another calculation also. We'll see that example. But how to define a macro? So the syntax is you use hash define. D can be capital or small. Okay. So hash define identifier. This identifier is user defined identifier. So all the identifier rules must be followed here. And then the string. Now this string is going to be your expression or the statement. Okay. This is going to be your statement or expression. So the example that you can see here is hash define pi is the identifier and 3.14 is a string. Remember, this is a string. For your macro, it is a string. लेकिन वो string हम double quote में नहीं लिखेंगे अभी. It is simple string. But when it is going to be replaced in your program code, then it becomes float value. 3.14 is a float value. So this is how we define a macro, right? Now, when we define a macro in a program, and when we go for the compilation process, जब हम program को compile करते हैं, then before that compilation, source code के अंदर, okay, before your source code is being passed to the compiler, उसके अंदर जितने भी macros हैं, वो C का pre-processor उसको replace कर देगा. So it is going to find the define directive and goes through the entire program, and it is going to search for your macro templates. When it finds it, it is going to replace that macro with the appropriate expansion. Expansion मतलब जो string आपने लिखा है, it's going to be the expansion. जहां पे भी आपको उस प्री प्रोसेसर को पाई दिखेगा, वो पाई को रिप्लेस कर देगा विथ 3.14. पूरे प्रोग्राम के अंदर जहां पे भी उसको पाई दिखेगा, it is going to replace it with 3.14. Now, only after this replacing process, your code is going to be compiled. ये replacement process हो जाने के बाद आपका resulting code जो है वो compiler के पास जाएगा, and then it is going to be compiled. That's why it is called pre-processing. Compile करने से पहले आप अपने macros को replace करोगे. And C has its own preprocessor. So C language does have its own preprocessor. Before you compile your code, अगर कोई macro है तो वो पहले macro को replace करेगा, and then it is going to pass it to the compiler. Yeah. Now Shubham is asking, are macros faster than variables? Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is faster than variable. Now, why? Because look, when you write a variable, तो वो एक तरह से memory location है. At the time of compilation process, वहां पे कोई value नहीं है, वहां पे variable है. At the time of execution, variable की value वहां पे consider हो जाएगी. So at the time of execution, it is going to get the value. लेकिन उसकी जगह पे अगर आप macro लिख देते हो, then macro is going to be pre-processed, and at the time of compilation, it will have the value directly. Compilation वक्त ही वहां पे 3.14 आ जाएगा. So it is going to work as a constant there, and that's why at time of execution उसको memory देखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, वहां पे constant value होगी direct. So at the time of execution, you need not to access your variable, you need not to access your memory location. आपके पास direct 3.14 value है, and you can execute that thing. So it is going to work as a constant there, and that's why we can call macros are somewhat faster than the variables. Okay. Well, so that is the one basic example of macro and pre-processing. एक constant हमने define किया, pi, value or the expansion string was 3.14, and that 3.14 is going to be placed inside your program wherever it has pi, and then it is going to be transferred to the compilation process. Now that's the basic example. Now why we need macro, and there are other macro process type macros, and we can also pass few parameters in a macro. So we'll see these examples in next lecture because it's almost time here, so we need to stop. So today is how nesting of functions, and we've seen recursive function and how recursion works. Few more example of recursions we are going to consider in a next unit. After that, we are done for macro. Macro is nothing but whatever you define using define directive has defined the identifier and the string, statement or expression. And we already know that macros are going to be expanded or are going to be replaced with its string, its value, before the compilation process. We'll continue with the macro in next lecture also. Hopefully, we will complete this unit in next lecture because macro and pre-processing is the last topic of this unit. So we are going to complete this unit next lecture. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this session here, and see you in the next lecture next week, where we'll be completing this unit, macros. Thank you.